Coming up on today's show, we have a lot to get to. We have a trip report, 50th anniversary, lots of new fireworks shows that we just watched. We're going to give you all of our thoughts on that. Coming up next on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome everybody to episode number 331 of Traveling with the Mouse. My name is Adam. I'm your host this week, and I am joined by John.
Welcome to Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. The 50 is in gold because it now costs 50 gold bars to come here. I thought that was worked into the new greeting. That's what I thought it was going to be.
The new Main Street welcome show.
Yeah.
So we also have Jason.
You are the magic, and I hope you're the magic because we've taken it away.
Ooh,
Interesting.
harsh words.
That's just too harsh. You're the magic. You're a cruise ship.
So that comes right after we literally just watched
Yes.
Enchantment.
That is my rapid reaction to the You Are the Magic enchantment show. I'm going to be positive probably for a lot of the rest of the show.
Okay.
Because we just came off of a trip.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the other stuff that's new that I actually liked.
Yep. The trip was
But
good.
The immediate, we just watched the live stream of Disney's Enchantment fireworks right before we started the show.
Yep.
And
It's late.
it stings a bit. You know, I had low expectations because I didn't think anything could measure up to Happily Ever After.
Right.
But this is it's bad.
Right. I had high expectations because of Happily Ever After. Because it needed to exceed those, and it did not. So let's break down that, and then we'll do Harmonious, because we saw that last night. First of all, the live stream was 45 minutes long.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully they don't bring out Christina Aguilera and Bob Chapek every night. I mean, maybe they could bring Bob Chapek and Bob Iger out every night just to, have them get booed or something. I don't know. We thought we were watching a fireworks show, but it took us 30 minutes to even get to the show.
Right. That's why Chapek came out tonight, because he knew if it was a crowd of day guests that we could definitely get booed.
Yeah, whoever booed him tonight, they had media passes. He's like, no more media passes for you.
Exactly, right. He knows he's got the crowd they won't boo him because they want to keep being invited back. So we had Christina Aguilera, which that was fine, but why did we need that? I don't know. For a live stream, isn't she singing tomorrow on the TV special? But whatever.
Well, they had to rededicate Walt Disney World
Yes,
or whatever
with a
they were doing
push of a button.
pressing a button. I don't know what that was, but
And then fireworks went off 20 seconds after they pushed the button. So there was a little delay there. They also screwed up Tinkerbell on the live stream. They didn't catch her coming out of the window, but on camera, I should say.
They probably did what they intended to do. Christina Aguilera, I guess she just signed a new contract with Disney, right? She's going to be there every night.
Yeah, for 18 months, so.
I think her calendar's probably clear. I mean, what else
Doesn't
is she
she
doing?
do The Voice or something? Or one of those?
I don't think she's doing it right now.
Well,
I don't
obviously
think.
she's doing this now, so. Anyway, and another minor complaint, Ginger Z, she's fine on ABC News, but where's Mark Daniel? He's the guy, right? Mark Daniel did all the live streams before. He was the better live show host. Come on.
I mean, we could overlook all of this. This is just a live show. I mean, let's talk about
The actual fireworks.
the actual show that you're going to be subjected to every night.
So I will say a couple of positives. There were a couple of good moments. There was a few good songs. They basically included all the songs that they didn't include in Happily Ever After. So the Be Our Guest segment was really good. I like that part. Some of the Moana songs, the way they remixed.
I'm glad they put Soul in there.
Soul is good to see in there. Some of the newer.
But
things.
in the Moana section,
seconds.
she was standing there, and then all of a sudden Raya shows up.
Yeah, the projections didn't have any continuity, which you'll hear that word again whenever we do Harmonious.
Well, I think we'll get to Harmonious. I'm going to say this as a preemptive. I like Harmonious. I actually like that show.
Yeah, I'll say I didn't hate Harmonious. There's probably more parts of Harmonious that I liked than I liked in Enchantment.
But let's get the negatives out of the way first, right?
Okay. There was no cohesive story in Enchantment like Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After takes you on a journey, an emotional journey. You know, you have the best friend part, you have the adversity and you overcoming that adversity and then creating your own happily ever after at the end. And it's
was a
complete
story,
journey.
Story.
And they used the Disney IP to tell that story. This was more of a, here, let's just throw some Disney movies that you've seen recently on the castle and play some songs from it.
And there wasn't lyrics, so it was mostly instrumental.
Mostly, yeah.
The projections, honestly, didn't work as well because I feel like they didn't take advantage of the actual contouring of the castle as much. They just sort of pretended like it was a flat screen and they're just slapping something up there half the time. The ones on Main Street, I'll have to see them in person, but they didn't seem like they added all that much to it, if anything. But you're right. I mean, when I was watching it, like, oh, I remember that effect from Happily Ever After, and it was used to a better effect, and I see these tricks, and they did a lot of the same like elements in isolation, where it's the song with the nice projection, and they're trying to transition between the IP, but there was no story, it didn't make sense, and then the fireworks were just happening. Like, I don't know why some of the fireworks are happening alongside some of the projections. It was just like, we're going to shoot some fireworks and play the movies. Let's go.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Isn't this supposed to be the 50th anniversary show? Other than that guy saying that at the very, very beginning, where was, like, Walt doing the, like, Epcot film or something? Like, where's something to show, like, this was 50 years ago? Wasn't Walt in World of Color?
Yeah.
For the
show. California
At least they would play his audio.
Yeah, something. Or Roy's dedication speech, you know, whatever, something. Why not do a throwback to old Walt Disney World? Like, where's the Country Bear Jamboree?
Did Mickey Mouse show up on the castle at all?
No, I don't think so.
I don't recall seeing him. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Yeah.
Because I don't remember seeing him in any part of that show.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it all started with a mouse, right? Says Walt.
For a show that is designed to be
Disney.
for the 50th anniversary, it seemed to have a lot of newer IP and not show a overall picture of 50 years.
Right.
Which is what you would expect.
I expected that going in. I had heard that was going to be the case, but still, Happily Ever After, just run it through the 50th. It would have been better. It told a story.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything innovative here.
No.
Let's put it that way.
And remember the concept art where everything turned gold? Like, did they sort of did that at the end, I guess, but not?
It was, again, hard to tell on a stream, I guess, but I did like there was moments when the gold stood out that was already on the castle.
Right. But it wasn't like a huge projection of gold everywhere like the concept art had.
Pretty much nothing ever comes out like the concept art, so.
Am I wrong, though, that the grand finale of Happily Ever After had more fireworks, it seemed to me?
It did, and more colors of fireworks, and this one I think had more consistent fireworks throughout. Right, Happily Ever After would have some fireworks and some lulls and some fireworks because they were telling a story, whereas this was just, like I said, just keep shooting the fireworks off while we play some stuff on the screen.
And I would say the one criticism I had about Happily Ever After was it does take a while to get to the fireworks. Like, there's a couple of minute intro before you get to the fireworks, but it kind of builds up, so there's a reason you could make for that. This show starts so slow to me.
Yeah, whereas Princess Merida's like shooting the bow and it turning into a firework, though. Like that didn't even happen. Like none. I think the only time I saw that was Elsa was like doing her ice magic and it sort of was coming out of the castle.
And we saw some shooting stars in the beginning, which I guess is kind of cool. But then there were like cubes during the Toy Story part. So that was different, I guess, the cube part. But
there was also the Heart of Tafides in there.
Yeah, but they had those, didn't they, in the old one?
Yeah, they did. But I mean, I was just saying this still incorporated.
During the Toy Story when they shot the fireworks like they do out of the side of the castle, and that actually just made me like, I remember in Happily Ever After when I got to hear Robin Williams, and it was really exciting and fun. And I mean, I saw a tweet as we're recapping this, and someone said that part where they transitioned from what was the Hercules song, but basically into Mufasa's voice. Remember
The distance.
Which was cool too.
Like that 2 seconds is better than that entire show.
And
like, remember how that made you feel whenever that came on or?
Oh yeah, of course. Because it was telling a story. Anyway, so the other thing was the camera people missed Tinkerbell because there wasn't like a cue for it. Like in Happily Ever After, they do the "You Can Fly" right before she flies out of the castle.
Like there's that light going up the castle, and then it brightens up, and then she's going down, and as she's going down in Happily Ever After, they're just like creating this crescendo, and I was just like, well, there's Tinkerbell because that's got to be part of the show too. They're just like, what do we have to put in this show to make it done?
Yeah,
we got to have projections, fireworks, and Tinkerbell. All right, check, and check.
Right.
So
wow.
If you came here for positivity on enchantment, you're not going to find it here, and I don't think you're going to find it anywhere.
So I will say this: I'll wait to say any more until I see it in person, and then I'll decide again.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was fine.
Fine is not good enough for Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I didn't think the song had enough of a hook to it that people are going to go away singing it almost immediately like some of the songs of the past. But
the song was good. I think it took me a while for Happily Ever After to catch on for me too. Like in the beginning, I was like, I can't. It didn't feel hooky either. Hooky. It didn't feel.
Is that a term?
Until I saw the show in person. So I'll give the song a chance. The song is pretty good, actually.
I will give the song a chance.
The song's not bad
as well.
The song's pretty good. I think the song will grow on me, but the show, I'm not seeing much there yet.
Fine is not good enough for the 50th at Magic Kingdom.
I know. What is with that?
So, why get rid of a great show for a not great show?
I don't know. That doesn't even reference the 50th. Anyway. Okay. So before we get to Harmonious, since we're talking about the 50th, I did want to mention, did you guys see the Electric Water Pageant 50th?
I saw a picture of the extra tag. At least that made sense.
Yeah. So the show itself is no different, but in the beginning, there's this kind of weird announcer guy that comes on and talks about the 50th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And the video I saw was from Polynesian, so he said, it was a specific spiel for the Polynesians saying, aloha, that kind of thing. But the 50th lights actually look really cool, and it goes all the way across all the boats. So they have like 3 different castles with the 50th, and then they have like these sort of ribbons, I guess you'd say, that don't really connect because the screens don't connect. So it kind of it looks disjointed, but otherwise the lights look really good. They actually obviously are using more modern technology for the new ones, because they look much brighter and much more like LEDs, obviously. I think the old ones, they basically used the Christmas lights that you could buy. The string lights, those big bulb string lights is what the old ones were. So anyway, they do a tag at the beginning and the end. It's okay, but the show itself is exactly the same. So I don't know. I think they do an instrumental version of the song too, the 50th song. At the end.
Well, you don't want to change it too much.
Yeah, because then they'll get people mad about that too. So, but it's fine. Okay, so now let's shift to Harmonious at Epcot. We watched that the previous night. What do we think?
I actually watched it today, and I watched it after I saw some of the negativity, but I liked it.
Yeah,
I did.
So I think the one criticism that we've all mentioned already, we haven't mentioned on the show, obviously, is that it does look like in person you need to be at very specific places to get the best view, or to get any really good view of all of the show's offerings.
Yeah, it's very easy. You got to be straight on to the
basically
to the Stargate circle thing.
which they're going to rope that off and sell it as a dessert party or a fast pass like they did before. Sorry, a genie, whatever. That's probably what it's going to end up being.
In all fairness, though, that point has been kind of like the same for every Epcot show. The best angle is right straight on right there.
Yeah,
So,
I just feel like when they showed the side views, though, there are going to be times if you're in the side that literally everything is going to be obscured by the water.
Yeah.
Like all you're going to just see is the sprays of water coming off all the arms, not anything else.
But as a show itself, there were some really good parts of the show that I liked. And then there were some parts where it kind of had some lulls. The ending is weird, as usual. Like, it's one of those, is the show actually over? Because then they talk more after they do that weird goodbye tag that doesn't make sense and it's kind of strange ending.
the format was kind of like just an updated version of Illuminations, truthfully. I mean, the
Right.
format. I mean,
But
yeah, it made sense. I know that you didn't like the music
no.
and others mentioned it. I kind of liked it. I liked that they put the other languages in there. I liked some of the remixes of it.
It'd been nice if they'd have used more actual countries they have in World Showcase, but, you know.
Right. Because I thought the Princess and the Frog part of this show was really good, but there is no New Orleans in, World Showcase, obviously. So, but there's the American Adventure, I guess. Doesn't quite
Yeah,
match
'cause
either.
nothing says America like New Orleans, where
Well,
they have.
It is.
It could
Part of
be.
America.
Is it part of America?
I guess it matches, but
Yeah, I think it works. I don't
was
think
good.
it has to only be countries in World Showcase. It's about, the countries
harmonious
of the world.
of
Yeah,
world population.
And it almost, it from that point alone, it creates more of a thematic narrative than Enchantment did.
By the way, how many times did they do France? Let's see. They had Notre Dame, Notre Dame, the Hunchback
Beauty and
Notre
the
Dame was in
Beast,
there.
yeah.
Beauty and the Beast had a moment. Ratatouille. I mean,
Yeah.
France was like front and center of the show.
Well, they did a lot of English too, so.
The Beauty and the Beast part, so I'll say that's the best part of both shows other than when they
It's
played
very
that-
short.
It was, but the music from Beauty and the Beast, like I'm so glad that some show finally used that because it's such a really good piece of music. Like
Yeah.
that beginning
Yeah,
part.
the whole, yeah. As I said in the comments when we did this, I don't like that they incorporated all the IP that they did just because of how Epcot was traditionally. I mean, I know maybe I'm going back to traditional stuff, but
Yes.
this is the first time they've
Old
ever
man
had
John
a
here.
show. I mean, why do you call it that? This is the first time they've ever had a show at Epcot that was so heavily IP based. But what do I expect in the era we're in?
Sure, yeah. I get what you're saying because the classic Epcot, Mickey wasn't even a big feature at all.
Apparently, Mickey's not even a part of the 50th at all. I haven't seen him yet.
Right. Yeah, he hasn't been in either show now that I think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like he's hit the back burner. Mickey, Minnie, all the Fab Five has hit the back burner.
It all started with a mouse, but you'd never know it.
Right.
So, yeah. It started with a mouse, but it ended with a rat because we have Ratatouille. And anyway,
Maybe that's it.
I smelled bad cologne before, and both times I've smelled a rat.
Wait a minute. Where did that come from?
Diamonds
I know
are
that from
forever.
somewhere. Ah, yes.
All right. Any more about Harmonious before we move on? And
I think Harmonious was largely panned, so I think some folks might disagree with us, but I'm going to say that I know that, I think, for instance, like Vicky Mouse was pretty anti-Harmonious, and I think that might be because it's pretty low on fireworks compared to Epcot Forever.
yeah, I don't expect a lot of fireworks from Epcot shows, honestly. I like the way the water feature, I got to say, pretty impressive, even though, again, you gotta be in the right spot to see it well,
It's cool, but maybe a tad too much. Like, I feel like water's coming out of more places than it needs to be.
That's true. I do wonder though. I'm like, is it gonna get those screens wet and all this stuff gets wet all the time? Like, is it gonna
Oh,
break
sure,
down after a
it's
year?
no big deal. I don't think it's going
So-
to. I'm sure they've thought of all that stuff.
Sure.
No, I was gonna say at moments that made it look like there was an octopus with its arms flailing about. It had moments where it looked like that. I'm not going to say some of the other moments what it looked like, but that we'll just let you use your.
Right.
I think it was an upgrade from Epcot Forever for sure.
Well, yeah, I think that goes without saying.
Now the kite tails, we haven't mentioned that. What do you think of that? Did you see any of that?
I did see some of it. I saw Simba get stuck in the crowd or something earlier today at Animal Kingdom. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the kite tails show at Animal Kingdom.
It was okay. Meh. You know, you don't expect much from an Animal Kingdom show either.
Yeah, I like it for that. I feel like that's a good fit for there. They needed something, and it's unique.
They need something to go there.
Animals.
Right. It was moderately okay. The other thing at Epcot, though, I wanted to mention was Spaceship Earth. I thought that looked fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Awesome.
I think we agree. Yeah, most agree on that. That's a good change, even though it's tinkering with Spaceship Earth. It does look good.
Yeah, wonder why they didn't think of doing this, I don't know, 30 years ago when they still had the capability. I mean,
right.
Because, I mean, it's just lights, right? I guess it's more advanced lights at this point, but, they could have had something.
I'm glad they waited till now because they can do all kinds of stuff with those lights. It looks really cool.
They would have just upgraded it.
I guess.
I mentioned how it looks like the old advertisements, if you remember the ones from what they would show and when they were introducing shows sometimes on the Disney Channel back in the day, in the 80s, how like they would have the almost Tron or even the current Test Track style lit up around there, but Epcot would have all these tiny little lights almost that are on it for its look, and that kind of what it reminded me of when I saw this.
All right. We have seen quite a bit over the last couple of days. Not all great, but that was definitely one thing that was good. The Spaceship Earth, that's one thing we can say.
Is that really a good sign for the 50th that the highlight of what they've released recently is the lights on the Spaceship Earth? Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Well, the 50th, as we're recording this, isn't officially started yet, so...
Yeah, the countdown. Maybe by the time we're done with this show, we'll be like, Happy 50th. Oh.
We probably will, actually. So, the two new shows are kind of a letdown, I would say. That's my thought. But Harmonious is probably going to grow on me.
Yep.
Didn't hate it.
Like a mold.
I thought it was, there's some really good parts in both shows.
Yeah.
More so in Harmonious, though.
I think Harmonious is going to grow on a lot of people. I know a lot of people are negative about it, but Harmonious is one of those shows that if it sticks around for 10 years, people will be complaining when it gets out. Yeah. I think based off of just one night of enchantment, I'm going to give it another view probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be upset when they say that's over.
So when all is said and done, which one's going to have had the longer run, Illuminations or Harmonious?
I think Illuminations will have had the longer run
because
we saw with Happily Ever After they're gonna be IP centric, so they have to update their shows every 5 years to get their new IP in.
The newest stuff, yeah. Which I definitely noticed with Enchantment, they put a lot more of the newer stuff in there. That's what.
Yeah, it's really sad whenever you can't even include Mickey Mouse in your show.
No,
everything's now.
And Mickey has all those really great new cartoon shorts that they're doing.
Now, granted, Mickey wasn't in Happily Ever After.
No, it should definitely be in this one, though.
Yeah, if you're going to do a 50th special, you should put a nod to some of the older stuff. They put very small nods to older stuff. And they only put Tinkerbell in there because it was like, well, we have to put her in here somewhere.
Right, she's going to fly.
This is what I would like to have seen incorporated in Enchantment. Since it's for the 50th, I would have liked to have seen them incorporate, instead of movie music, the park music.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen them incorporate attraction music.
Right. Like Country Bear Jamboree, where's that?
Did we hear a single one? Like, they've included Pirates in the past. They've included Haunted Mansion in the past. Not one thing from either of those. Nope. I mean, if you're doing it at Magic Kingdom, why not use Magic Kingdom attraction music since you have so much of it? At least have that and be involved.
I think people would have enjoyed that, if they, especially part of a partial throwback to earlier days too of the parks. Yeah, I don't know.
The attractions we just named that had songs to it were all there in the early days. Not all of them were opening day, like Pirates wasn't, but Haunted Mansion was.
Yeah,
and Small World, of course, was. Stuff like that.
Yep.
So,
Mickey Mouse Review, Country Bear Jamboree, Tiki Room.
It would have been nice to have had a show that revolved around that, but nobody they have working for them thinks that way. They just think now. So
Yeah. Well, let's maybe move on to some more positive things.
Yeah.
First of all, did you guys notice the monorail doing the glowing lights underneath now? That looked interesting, huh?
I did not. Glowing
So
lights underneath. Like
they
it's shining
basic-
down on the people below them.
Like, you know how those cars do? They have, like, lights underneath. Each monorail now has a glowing light corresponding with its monorail color.
Oh,
At
okay. I must have missed that part.
So, like, monorail green has a green light, and, blue is blue, obviously. So, it's kind of cool. I don't know what, like, monorail black would look like. That'd be interesting. A black light?
A black light.
I guess it would be a black light.
It'll be purple.
I haven't seen all of them. I don't know if they all do it, but I've seen a few. But I just thought that was neat. What about this about Magic Band Plus? Have you guys...
What?
I barely
Look at
caught that before we got started with this, so enlighten
Tell me more.
So starting next year, you can buy a Magic Band Plus that will unlock interactive experiences around Walt Disney World theme parks, including the 50th sculptures, the 50 sculptures. So I don't know what that means. Like, you're going to be able to interact with them. I don't know if this means you'll hear sounds, or it says, like, it lights up. So, like, during the fireworks or at Galaxy's Edge, different things, it will either light up or vibrate or different things like that to interact with something. So, like the fireworks, I imagine when they go off, maybe it would vibrate so that you would feel more of the fireworks, I guess.
What is this? Is this a rumble pack for the Magic Band?
That's an old N64 reference. Yeah, they mention in Galaxy's Edge you'll be able to do like bounty hunter mission type stuff with these. Yeah. Who knows what they'll cost too, but it'll be a lot more than the current Magic
What
Band.
is this even? Like, what is this?
I don't know. Yeah, it says play like a bounty hunter in a galaxy far, far away and find virtual bounties throughout Black Spire Outpost at Hollywood Studios.
So you're going to be the Mandalorian, probably.
So does this mean you can like shoot like a rope thing out of your Magic Band? Right, to snag people?
Capture them?
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the three things it specifically mentions is Galaxy's Edge, 50th character statues, and the Harmonious and Enchantment. There are it'll light up and vibrate and things like that. So I don't know. Magic Band Plus for sale starting next year.
It's like, and you folks can also get these for 4 figures.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Basically, they look like Magic Band 3.0s. So
I guess.
I thought Magic Bands were going away.
I know it looks like they're doubling down on them.
Well, no, these are for purchase only. They're not giving anything away, so these are special.
They're not giving anything away anymore.
That's what I said. They're not giving anything away. So
Yeah, it said guests arriving early next year will get the first a discount
opportunity
on them. Right. So, have you guys ready to book a trip on the Galactic Star Cruiser? Because it's debuting March 1st, 2022.
That's going to be the first thing they get open? Is that going to be, okay.
Maybe
how long do you think it'll be before this is booked solid?
Immediately.
It'll still be, I'm going to say it'll still be booked pretty quick on it, even with the ridiculous price.
Oh, yeah. Prices don't mean anything. It's going to be booked. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is why they could set it, right? We talked about this before. People complain about the prices, but you give them no reason to come down on them at all. So whatever it is, we'll pay it.
Yep. Did you guys also see the pictures of the new confectionery shop?
I did see that. I did. It looked nice. I mean, it's an M&M store. I don't know why they need an M&M store at Disney Springs anymore, because they got it in Magic Kingdom now.
Right. They basically are going with that same design they did with Creations at Epcot. Like a very open concept store. I don't know, the theme looks okay, I guess. I'm okay with it, whatever.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
These are not make or break points. And
yeah, honestly, the confectionery looks good. I think looks I think it's a nice refresh. I don't know why they needed a refresh, but I like it. I guess they got sponsorship from Mars, so they can handle that. It's all good.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be negative about that refresh. It's fine.
They're just doing it too, I'm sure, because it's the 50th, so they wanted to spruce things up.
I'm going to not give them any benefit of the doubt on they did it because it's the 50th at this point, because everything they've done specifically for the 50th has not impressed. And so I feel like this did well, but it wasn't like a 50th retheming. They just wanted some more candy, I guess. I don't know.
Yep. So one place I am definitely wanting to go visit next time I go is Steakhouse 71 because it looks
good.
Awesome. I'm very excited about that.
That was very impressive. The decor was very impressive.
Yeah, that looks cool. I want to go there.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah, and I love when you walk in, you got all these old vintage, pictures from the construction of Walt Disney World. You got the pictures of Walt when he visited the property and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff there. Excited about that. I love the logo too, the contemporary looking logo.
I have found myself, as of recent, finding more and more reasons to call the contemporary the better choice for the deluxe for the monorail line.
For one, the price is not as outrageous as the Poly and the Grand Floridian. I know. I'm hating myself as I say that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. A couple other minor stories I wanted to throw in because I know we got to get to our trip report. Adventures Outpost has a lightning lane sign. So isn't that where you met Mickey and Minnie back in the day before pandemics? So meeting Mickey's going to be a lightning lane, which was... it had Fast Pass, so I guess it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll have plenty of character interactions that have it since Fast Pass had it.
Yeah. And another cool one, Indiana Jones Stunt Show is going to return. And rumor has it will be this holiday season, but don't know for sure yet when it's going to reopen. But it is going to come back.
Okay.
Thankfully. We got something else to do there, which is good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in forever, but I kind of feel like it's probably going to be the same show still. I don't think they've changed anything.
Well, they were supposed to change it. So we don't know. Yeah, we don't know if they did. But the last time I saw it was Christmas 2019, so it was right before the pandemic started. And, of course, the show is exactly the same as it was, when it started.
Yeah.
So there's no change.
If you were going to make changes to this show, what would you do?
I would probably try to incorporate some of the other films other than Raiders.
That's how I was thinking. I think they should take select scenes from each of the original three.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
No, I think they should have monkeys that he swings on. No, anyway.
What stunts could you even take from the Crystal Skull anyway?
I don't know.
But no, they should have incorporated the original three, the original trilogy. Like take a little bit from each one and go with that.
I think that big cave part you could do some of the Last Crusades.
Yeah, you could.
Leap of Faith or something.
It's probably kind of hard to fit Temple in too much because, you have what? You're going to cut a bridge or you can't do the mine cars.
Yeah. You can't flood the entire studio with water.
Right. Right. So,
stage.
You can't jump out of a plane in a raft.
Yeah. So I guess they're going to have to stick with Raiders. It makes the most sense.
Maybe so. Raiders had the most logistically possible stunts.
Yeah. Right. So hopefully it'll come back and be better than ever, but probably the same show. Any other news you guys thought of before we get to our trip?
Scarlett Johansson got a settlement done.
Yes, I did want to mention that. I forgot about that.
So she's got a settlement with for her Black Widow lawsuit.
Yeah. Tower of Terror might still be happening.
It sounds like it's still happening. She's going to come back and keep working for Disney, surprisingly.
Yeah. So they must have really worked out some deal that
we did see
all happy
Bob, the other Bob, tonight. So.
Yeah, the COO Bob.
Yeah, the COO Bob. Just in kind of a quick, I guess, story, a Disney legend did pass away here recently, and Tommy Kirk. He passed away at 79.
Right.
For those of you
Maybe
that
you
don't
posted
necessarily remember him, he was in the Shaggy Dog and, of course, the Mickey Mouse Club and stuff like that.
Mickey who?
Right.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Wait, is he Ratatouille?
Never heard of him?
I thought that was a rat. Ratatouille?
Did you want to mention the Amazon and Disney thing? The Hey Disney that they were talking about?
Oh, that they're gonna add Hey Disney to and put it in your room for
right.
Voice assistant. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Hey Disney, what time do the parks open tomorrow?
Yeah, they're gonna work with Amazon to do that.
My favorite one was, Hey Disney, what time does Typhoon Lagoon open?
Never. Oh, sorry. Okay, interesting. Primeval World's being torn down. I think we've mentioned that already.
Yeah, we should get to our report
because we've got a lengthy report. So last week, and right off the bat, I did want to ask you, Jason, this since I haven't really talked to you post trip about the trip. You were feeling a little negative about things before because of all the news that we've had over the last few weeks. How do you feel going back? Because this was your first trip since Memorial Day. How did it feel?
I definitely enjoyed myself. I had a good time. There were not that many negatives, if I remember. I feel like I was pleasantly surprised by some of the things I was skeptical of. Mm-hmm. We got to see Happily Ever After. Thank God that we went and saw Happily Ever After.
Yes.
We got to ride the new ride, which we'll get to, Ratatouille. Mm-hmm. We got to eat at Space 220, which we'll talk about.
You experienced some Disney magic firsthand as well at the very end of our trip.
I did? Oh, yeah, I did, of course. Yeah, we can talk about that.
It was literal magic, basically, because that was the way that happened was like, whoa, that just was. If there was a minute earlier or a minute later, you would have missed it. So
yeah, so we can skip to that magic. I bought a shirt, and it was in a Disney Parks bag, and we were in Hollywood Studios at the end of the trip, and I apparently left it somewhere while we went and rode our last ride of the day, which was Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. And
40 minutes later,
I realized that as we were getting off the ride, I was like, oh, where's my bag? So I went. We had been to Tower of Terror. We'd been a couple places. I started looking around. Nobody had seen it. You went to Lost and Found. Lost and Found said, no, it's not there. Then I showed up, started talking to the cast member. She's like, well, what did the bag look like? And another cast member walks past with a bag. And you said, Adam, kind of like that bag.
Like that one. You're right. I was like, it looked like that bag, didn't it?
Yeah. And so she's like, well, I'll go back in and check one more time. Turns out that was the bag. We got the shirt.
Somebody had, I guess, given it to that cast member, and that cast member had taken it back to Lost and Found at the exact moment that we were talking to the other cast member about it, and walked right by us with it. And 2 minutes later, she comes walking out with it, and that was, I was like, that was Disney magic, because otherwise we totally would have, 20 seconds either direction, and we would have missed that.
So the magic was in you.
It was, I guess.
I mean, I was the magic.
But it was a happily ever after, was it not? Oh, I guess we should.
Kind of saying the magic's in you is kind of like the Force. Like you were using the Force. Use the magic.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no Star Wars references either. Like, what the heck? Yeah.
They're going to reserve that for the Hollywood
No Marvel,
Studios,
no Star Wars, nothing.
So should we back up and start the trip?
Yes, start of the trip.
We both got up and left Atlanta really early.
3:30.
Arriving, you went straight to Disney Springs. We were like 5 minutes apart from each other. Well, you went straight to Disney Springs. I went straight to Pop Century. My room was ready. We arrived around 10:30, I think, somewhere around there.
Your room was ready first. We got to Disney Springs at 10:20 a.m.
So I got to Pop Century, I think, 10:30 then, because I was like, a few minutes behind.
Yeah.
And we went straight to our room, unpacked. Because of how we did things, the one time we actually got in a car, we rode together. I didn't move my car during the trip. So thanks,
Oh,
Skyliner.
that's right. Yeah, that does help, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we got to our room. It was in the 90s building out, which the numbering at Pop Century makes no sense. The signage makes no sense.
True.
And
It's
I
hard to
think
find.
there's no way to park your car near wherever you're staying somehow.
Yeah.
And there's somehow no way to be near anything else at Pop Century. Like if you get off the Skyliner and say you're staying in the 90s or 50s area and you just follow the signage, it takes you all the way around the property. Like, just don't follow the signs. Just cut through until you find something. But,
Yeah.
we were pretty far away. We went, got ready quickly, got on the Skyliner. And while we were getting onto the Skyliner, I think you were arriving. So we were going to go to
Yeah.
Epcot first.
Right. So I'll just mention quickly, Disney Springs, my wife loves Uniqlo, so she went there. While she was in there, I went straight to World of Disney. Disney Springs opens at 10. We got there at 10:20. It was already a madhouse for the 50th anniversary merch. And, just arriving 20 minutes after they opened, it was just people everywhere rifling through stuff. And I, with my two kids in tow, were trying to get through the store to try and find some of the stuff. I did get the merch I wanted. I love a lot of the 50th merch, by the way. It's fantastic. I will say that. Even the new stuff that they've rolled out since we left last week, I now want some of that. A lot of the vintage stuff. So they've done a good job with the merch, even though I know they've got supply issues and they're trying to limit what they're doing. But I was able to get some of the stuff. Jason, have you used your soap dispenser yet?
No, not yet.
I gotta say, kind of disappointed. It doesn't, not great as far as the Mickey shape in your hand. Like every 10th one, I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like Mickey, but otherwise, it doesn't really look like Mickey. Jason, you went to Emporium with us, and it was even worse there. The Emporium was nuts.
Gosh.
Like you could barely move in there. It was so bad.
That's one of the most negative parts of my trip, was being in that place. I did not enjoy that moment at all.
I had, by the way, at Pop Century room in the 60s, I had a preferred room I was able to get.
So you were close to actually the Skyliner, at least.
Yes, I was very close to the Skyliner. However, you can't park. I think the 70s is probably the best, maybe the 50s, because
Art of Animation would have been better to park
right. Because I had to park, I parked in front of the main building, but I had to walk through it or around it to get to my room. So I feel like 70s is probably the best because you can actually park close to your actual building. But yeah, anyway, so I had a great location for Skyliner, but not for the car parking. But
Yeah. We arrived before you, though, so
yeah, you were in Epcot.
It was around 11. We had our Ratatouille preview starting at 4. So we went left out of World when we went in the International Gateway, went left towards Canada. We did, the Le Cellier steak off the food and wine booth. It was overcooked, so a little disappointing. We wanted to get a few more things, but the first thing we did is I went and got in line at Space 220, which was an interesting thing because they were like, this isn't how they're doing it starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, it's reservations. But I got in line to get in a virtual line to eat at Space 220. But we were able to get time it perfectly. They had a spot for 7 of us. We were going to eat at 6:30 at Space 220. While I waited in that line, my son and my wife got to go ride Mission Space, which was good. Yeah. And then we went over to where Flavors of Fire was, the Tiana playground, and that's where we met up. And our kids got to play on the Tiana playground. I know I hated on it a little bit about the theming, but it's a winner because they enjoyed themselves. So
kids loved it, even though there's one picture of Tiana waving at you as you go in, and then that's pretty much the end of the theming. But otherwise, I guess they have to have a picture of her to show that it's her playground, but that's it. That's all there is. But the kids loved it, and that area, it's right near Creations now, so it's a cool happening area of the park at the moment. And didn't we ride? Yeah, we rode Test Track after that.
We did. It was, and the line
wasn't bad.
Not even out the building, so it was quick, and we got to design cars. That was back.
Yep. It was a good ride on Test Track.
Yeah, we rode Test Track. I'm glad we got that in before, so the kids wouldn't complain. That was the only way we got them out of the playground. Test Track. Oh, let's go.
Yep, that's the only reason.
And
yeah,
we were having some drinks, so we went to Mexico Pavilion and went to La Cava.
Oh my gosh! And by the way, your wife got the Neil Patrick Harris one, the Black Magic. Yo, that one is delicious. And I tried that. It was an old-fashioned something, but it had
corn old-fashioned.
Corn old-fashioned, and it had whiskey mixed with tequila and a bunch of. It was really strong. So if you want a strong drink, I would recommend that one. That was a very good one.
I think the adults were feeling it when we rode Grand Fiesta Tour afterwards.
Oh yeah. That was a good ride on Grand Fiesta Tour, for sure. So, yeah, we enjoyed that. I think we wandered around some more, got some more food and drinks.
We worked our way around because we were trying to get to Ratatouille for when we could get in. We stopped at a couple of booths. Yeah, we had to wait for the bridge to clear.
Yeah. We got the lemonades at the American Pavilion.
Oh, yeah. That was where we were. That's where I think we were feeling it the most.
Yeah.
Is when we had the Tennessee lemonades from Regal Eagle.
Yeah, I drank.
So we had a successful World Showcase is basically what we're saying.
Yes.
We show up, we get in about 15 minutes, I think, or so before 4 o'clock. They let us in.
I think it was exactly 15 minutes early, yeah.
Yeah. We take a few pictures, but walk right onto Ratatouille. No line.
Zero line.
The only reason we stopped was to take pictures of the different parts of the queues.
Yep.
Rode it. You can ride it as much as you want. We ended up riding it a grand total of 3 times. But I'm curious. You've ridden it in France.
Yeah.
You've now ridden it here. What's your reaction?
The ride itself was exactly the same. There was zero difference. The only difference that, and you told me this, was the queue had a different room. And yes, that there was one room that didn't look familiar to me. It was the second room in the queue did not look familiar to me. But I gotta say, it's a fun ride. It's not an e-ticket attraction by any means. It's a fun little ride. I wouldn't even call it, that long as far as I think Runaway Railway is a stronger attraction than this one. But it's worth riding. I would ride it every time I'm there if it's not a crazy.
I'm not going to pay extra for it.
Correct. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to get up at 7 a.m. to get a boarding group for it either. If that's what we're going to see starting tomorrow. But yeah, it's a fun ride. It's not anything earth-shattering, but it's fun. What did you think of it?
My first ride through, it was moving pretty fast for me to keep up with what was going on.
Yeah, it does move quick.
I was enjoying it, but I felt like, wait, why were we in that room for so little time? Wait, what's going on? It's just moving so quick. But on the second and third ride throughs, it was much better because I at least had the basic story points together. So then I could focus on the details and try to just immerse into the story. I feel like they could have slowed it down slightly, is all I'm saying. But I guess, a rat's supposed to run across real fast. But
the part that I think is the best part of the ride is the only part without screens and the freezer when you go in. And I think when you're under the oven is pretty cool too, that little effect that they do. But the freezer part and the pantry or the freezer or whatever, there's this third time we rode it, I was in the back car and for that scene, and you're in there much longer if you're in the back car than you are in the front 3, really. So at least I got to see a lot more of that room in the back car, but really it's the luck of the draw as to which car you get. So you never really know.
So after riding that, we had crepes. Well, that was actually in the middle of the second and third ride. But we were just trying to get something light to taste the crepes because we were trying to save space for the $79 pre-fee menu at Space 220, which we had some crepes. They were fine. I think I would like to do the sit down at some point, and that has a little bit more options.
They were just okay. Yeah, the ones that they had weren't spectacular.
Yeah, but we go to Space 220, and I gotta say my expectations were somewhat low, just because I don't know. It just never was going to open, and I felt like they were probably just going to, just half bake it.
Sure.
Yeah, but
right.
just like, we're going to open this
Phone
thing for the 50th.
For the food.
Phone it in. And it was also super expensive, right? But from the ride up in the space elevator to the server we had, and the service for a place that had opened 3 days ago was great. Mm-hmm. The speed with which they brought stuff out was great. Timing. The food was well prepared. Quality. The only hiccup we ran into is I wanted to try to get the big 1.5 pound lobster main dish, but they were out. Somebody had just ordered it, so I ended up getting the steak with the half lobster add on. But I'm glad I did, because that steak was cooked perfectly, absolutely perfectly.
I tried a bite of it. It was good.
Yeah, we got like one of each appetizer and shared. They were all good. Definitely well done. I think every one of our main dishes we liked. I liked the dessert I had. I think the only thing that got like really negative reviews was the kids' mac and cheese.
Right. You mean from my youngest? Yeah.
Yeah. He sent it back and asked for chicken fingers instead.
Yeah, he ate some of that at least. So, yeah, I felt better about that. Yeah, he didn't like the breadcrumb on top. He didn't like... He said... Did he say sugar or something? I forgot what he called it.
Yeah.
He said it was like... has sugar on it. I'm like, no, that's not
your
sugar.
Youngest is one of the reasons I love Space 220 the most, because he loved the screen. Loved everything about it. Yeah. Look! There's the astronauts. The lightsaber. Oh, look! There's the spaceship.
There's the same spaceship we've seen 4 times already, but he's like, you have to see this. Why are you not looking? He would get mad if we're looking at the menu or something. He's like, why are you not looking out at space? Yeah. He loved it.
It was cool. It was cool. I mean, I think just seeing them enjoy it made me enjoy it more. Is it worth... I think going into it, the question was going to be, is it worth $79? I'd say yes. I didn't feel like when we got the bill, I had steeled myself for something astronomical.
And we did get a discount, by the way, which I wasn't expecting, the pass holder discount.
Yeah, we got the pass holder discount. And
speaking of, welcome, John, to the getting your passes. Anyway.
Oh, yes. Yeah, nice time to interject that, I guess.
Yeah. It just reminded me of, I remember you sent us the passes.
Yep. Well, I am once again an annual pass holder, as well as my family.
No. You're an Incredipass holder.
Oh, right.
Yeah, excuse me, an Incredipass holder. An inaugural Incredipass.
Right, there you have it. I forgot. So we did get the discount, so that, took a little off. But I agree with you. I think it's worth doing at least once. I think if you want the experience and want something unique, it's worth doing once. The food lives up to the price.
Yeah, like, it's not the best place to eat in Epcot, but you put it at Magic Kingdom, like, would be one of the best places to eat at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So speaking of, then, compared to Be Our Guest, blows it out of the water. 100 times better than Be Our Guest. I mean, there's no question. It's way better.
Now I got to ask right quick, the elevator ride, is it just one floor? Or does it go anywhere?
So based off of what I just saw being next to the building when I got out, it may have gone up a floor.
Yeah, that's my thought. Is it probably goes up one floor. That's my guess. But again, it may not go anywhere. But it's really fun. That's a really fun part. It's about a 1.5 minute ride up somewhere in there and back. It's fun. It's cool I like how it is. And I gotta say too, we had the perfect time because it was right before sunset. And so when the sunset happens, you see it occur on, outside the space window as well. The shadow cast over the earth and the cities
10,
light up and
9,
everything. Yeah.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
What's going on?
1. 50th anniversary.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry. You were counting down. I was like, what are you
Yeah.
counting down? Sunset?
No.
Oh, it's
I was just happened to notice. I saw it was getting close, so I decided to keep up.
sorry. I was like, what?
It is now officially October the 1st. That's the reason.
So the best present y'all could get me for the 50th is that he who must not be named will no longer be CEO. That would be
Yeah.
great.
You mean Dr. Evil?
Scott.
All right, so happy 50th. That was a good dinner. Anything else to say about it?
I think the only downside is we had all these aspirations that we were going to keep going and go to Bar Riva. But by the time we were done, we had gotten up and left at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
we
we
went
were
over to the
exhausted.
creation shop, and I just felt wiped. I did not enjoy my time in the creation shop because of that.
Yeah.
And also, the creation shop is not that big compared to Mouse Gears. I feel like Mouse Gears had like way more stuff in it.
Every store is like super crowded right now because of the 50th merge, and Creations has new Epcot merge, so it's just nuts. And Club Cool is way smaller too, or it seems smaller, and it always has a line. So
We didn't
even
go
bother.
because there was a giant line. I'm like, I'm not going to wait in line to go try some soda.
Yeah, which is, again, they've limited it now. I think there's only 5 or 6 now, and that's it. So they have several stations, but it's the same 5 or 6 or 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, like, how is that a queuing attraction? Like, Club Cool is always sort of like
You go
let's
in
throw
and hang out
something
for a minute.
here so that we can distract a few people from going somewhere better.
Right. Yeah, it was always like right next to the Starbucks, so it's like you go to the Starbucks, I'll go into Club Cool for a second.
And
Try the
maybe
Beverly.
that's also that we're a little jaded because we live in Atlanta where we have the World of Coke, which is Club
Yeah.
Cool at the end of the tour. You can just go.
Right. Yeah.
It's basically Club Cool.
Yeah. Same thing, right? And can you do that at the Coca-Cola store at Disney Springs too? I'm not sure if they have the same sodas, but I feel like you can soda taste test there too, but
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
was odd. It was odd. But
was
we
okay.
we did not go to Bar Riva. We got on the Skyliner,
no,
and I
we
think
never did we?
by the time we got home, like my son, that was the one meltdown of the trip. He's like, I don't want to go to bed.
Oh, that's right.
I want to go. He wanted to go to Bar Riva, not because he wanted to go to the bar, but our kids like to go run around on the grounds of Riviera. And he's like, I want to go
play,
run on the field. I want to run on the. But we went. By the
He was
time
so
we got
tired,
to
yeah.
our room, he was like, I want to go to bed. So
Yeah. Right.
we were going to do the challenge the next day. He was like, I want to do the challenge.
Yep.
It's like, this isn't happening. But we went to bed thinking he was going to do the challenge. I set an alarm. I woke up at 6:30, and I woke him up, and I was like, are you ready to do the challenge? And he said, nope. And I was like, would you rather go to the pool? He's like, yep. And then he went back to sleep.
I remember you texted me at 6:30 in the morning. Was like, he's going back to bed. We're not doing the challenge. So I was like, well, I'm going back to bed too. So, because not gonna. Yeah, we were exhausted. So we did breakfast at. So here, I gotta say, like, Pop Century, you can say, value. The food court is not. It's not bad. It's fine. There's plenty of places to sit and eat. We weren't near anybody else if we wanted to be. The food is decent, And
Yeah, especially at breakfast. Like, even the breakfast at the deluxes at the quick service is kind of like, it's
same
no
kind of-
different. It actually is less choice,
Yeah.
like at like Yacht Club or Beach Club.
Right, you can get Mickey waffles for $10, like a plate of waffles and eggs and stuff like that, cheaper than you could get it at most of the other deluxes. So, same
Yeah.
waffles.
Yeah, it was fine. We actually our family, because we got up. This was because at 6:30 he didn't get up. I went back to sleep for a little bit, but I still got up before everybody. So I ordered the breakfast and brought it back to our room. So we ate our breakfast in the room, but you actually ate there.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the pool for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The hippy dippy pool.
Right, because there's not much to do at the pool there. It's okay, it's a decent pool, but no slide, no. They had like
Yeah.
some not fountains, but some like showers, I guess you'd say. Whatever.
Yeah, it was
Spray into the pool.
fine.
Flower shower.
There you go. Flower
But
shower.
like, my son was upset because it wasn't deep enough on the side for him to even jump in. Like the way the pool's laid out is it's very shallow around the edges, and it just gets deeper towards the middle. So there's no jumping in. So you couldn't even do that. There's no slide. I would say it's a pretty bland pool, but we got out in the sun. We because the bar wasn't open, we really concocted a way to do things. We just bought some drinks from the gift shop at Everything Pop and brought them
Got
out
some
there.
soda and mixed it with that. That's funny.
Yeah.
But we really didn't drink that much of it.
No, we had like one drink, and that's also helped me because I mixed it with a Coke, and I don't drink soda anymore, so I actually got a decent amount of caffeine from the Coke there. And so after that was done, we got ready and we said, okay, let's go to Magic Kingdom. So we all went back to the room, got ready. We all drove over in your car, and we were able to get to the Grand Floridian, which was nice. Yep, we rode the monorail.
Yep. Love the monorail still. Always.
One of the things that we did is we decided that we weren't going to have lunch right away, and we also knew Happily Ever After was at 8:15. So that leaves an awkward thing where it's like, when do you eat? Right? Because if you sit down and eat, it's sometimes an hour and a half excursion, and we also wanted to ride rides. So we like scheduled, what was it, like a 3:30-ish? Or was it
right at 3:25 and 3:30-ish? I forgot.
3:20, 3:25 Skipper Canteens.
Yep. And we did what I did back in July, which was we had two groups and they merged them into one. So that's worked 2 times in a row so far. So
yeah. So we get there and we're like, okay, what can we ride? The wait times or the expected waits were pretty short in Frontierland. So we go there, and at like the very last second, and I apologize that this sort of happened, but we were going to go to Big Thunder. My son didn't really want to go to Big Thunder.
yeah.
So I was like,
She did Splash.
so we went over to Splash, which I hadn't done Splash at all since I think pre-pandemic.
Really? So it's been a while.
So we rode Splash. It was a fun ride. We got really, really wet.
Yes, I saw. Because we were watching you when you came down. So I got to give some love to Touring Plans yet again, because their app was spot on with the wait times. Like, we didn't believe it, but they were 100% on both of those rides.
Yeah, the line was out beyond the queue, and it said 15 minutes. And I'm like, no way. And it was 15 minutes for you.
Yeah. Like, so what happened was it said 45 and it was way outside queue. So we're like, okay, it's probably going to be, 30 minutes or more. And by the time we got up to the indoor part of the queue, they weren't even using it. So they had started rerouting the covered part of the queue. And so we just zipped through that part very quickly. And yeah, it was exactly 15 minutes when I got on. So, and your wait time for Splash was spot on too, wasn't it? I think
It's like 25,
yeah.
25, 30. Yeah, it was right on.
Posted at like 50, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It was slow going on the outside, but once you get on the inside, it was pretty quick. And
yep.
I enjoyed riding Splash. After that, we were able to sneak in a Pirates, which was always good. And then it was time to go talk to the people over at Skipper Canteen. So we did that. They got our parties merged, and then we're like, okay, well, how can we kill a little bit of time? Let's go to Emporium. Massive mistake. That was the first time I was like, what is happening here? And I just had to get out of there. I'm like, I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. I can't do this.
Right.
So
Craziness.
yeah, you buy a few things, but we end up back at the restaurant. My wife's first time eating there. It's fantastic as always. I mean, Skipper Canteen is the best restaurant at Magic Kingdom. I haven't eaten at Cinderella's table, but I feel like bang for your buck.
Yeah, for sure.
We had a good time there. It was perfectly timed from like being able to have almost like somewhat lunch, somewhat dinner.
Yep.
Where we weren't going to be hungry at fireworks time. We could still have time to do some rides. We get done. We're like, well, let's go knock some rides out. Somehow we get talked into going to Small World.
Oh, right. Small World.
Somehow.
It
My wife
was your
wanted to do it.
wife
Yeah,
that
she
wanted to do it so badly. And even your son, who used to love Small World, was like, I don't want Small World. I want something else.
Yeah, but we did it
But
anyway.
we did it anyways because we saw the new colors.
It was a short wait.
It was. We got on the boat, and then we're going around. It looks beautiful.
Africa.
They've repainted it. We get to Africa, and it's backed up.
It just stopped.
It just
wait,
stopped.
that doesn't seem right. Like 10 minutes later, the ride's down on the app finally, and you're like, yeah, we're definitely stuck. And maybe another 10 minutes after that, they don't stop the music immediately, but they do make the announcement that the ride stopped. And then at some point, the music stops.
Eventually, they stopped the music.
And then the animatronics are still moving, but the music had stopped. And then when you see the cast members come out, and then you're like, oh, we're getting evac'd. This is actually going to happen. So they got the guy with the waders on, getting in the water and moving boats around. We got pushed back to the next room. And then some people got pushed forward. And it was my first evac, so that was kind of cool.
It was an interesting time, other than the fact that the other people on the boat with us apparently didn't believe in COVID because they just had their masks down the whole time we were waiting to get evac'd.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, my wife took a nap while we waited to get evac'd.
Yep.
We found a hidden Mickey by just sitting there in
Yeah.
Africa for a while.
Yep.
But yeah, they made the announcements. Even after they turned the lights on, they were still playing the music. And I'm like, good thing this isn't a song that gets stuck in your head.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't happen. Exactly.
But we got out. We got out sorta. I would say if you're facing Small World on the right side of the building, basically.
We were
But then they
basically
walked us-
behind Pinocchio Village House. And
Yeah, but they
beer,
walked
I
us
guess.
back and behind the Small World building and brought us back out, between Small World and the Rapunzel bathroom. So we got to walk pretty far around backstage. I would say if I was to summarize the things we saw, because we can't share videos or anything about that. We saw where they had like the buses coming to pick up and drop off cast members from the park, the cast member parking lot.
Because at first I was like, are those buses for us? Are we supposed to like get on a bus and they're going to take us back to the front of the park or something?
Yeah, so there's
But no, it
buses,
was cast
same
members.
Disney bus transport. And then we go past a few interesting things. I saw some props, like a rum barrel that looked like it was being painted. So some props for the rides and the queues and things.
Yep.
I saw where they had the weld shop. We saw like a teacup just hanging out.
Some horses for the carousel were back there.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to pass by. I was good. Just looked around, and they gave us 2, as they called it, lightning lane fast passes.
Yep, right. And a bottle of water.
And a bottle of water for any attractions except Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Peter Pan. And I think it was because Peter Pan had just come up for the day whenever we were getting off. Like, everything was broken at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, even one of the cast members mentioned this was happening a lot today. So
Yeah.
they said that a lot of rides were going down.
So we had 2 fast pass thingies, whatever they want to call them.
And we used them wisely, I think. Space Mountain, because our kids wanted to do that.
Yep, but your wife and your son that couldn't ride it used it on Buzz.
Yeah,
but
we
we
went to
rest of
Buzz.
us used it on Space Mountain. And when we walk up, they're like, "How do you have a fast pass?" And you're like, "Oh, we were at Small World." They're like, "Oh, okay."
Yep. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
We had a good Space Mountain ride,
Yep.
and then the second one we used was Jungle Cruise, which we hadn't done since it had been refreshed, and that was a good pick because it's had like a consistent 60-minute wait.
Right,
and had we waited in that line, we would have missed the firework.
Right. I did it back in July, and it was partially done, but we didn't. The monkeys on the other boat were not done, and some of the other. There was another scene after that. What was after that? Was there more monkeys after that or something? I forgot. There was
I'm just
a few
happy
scenes.
they had a rock joke because I was like,
Yeah.
they're going to put the rock joke right there, and I
Yes.
called it. She's like,
Yeah.
and here's the star of the show, the Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a guy on our boat that thought some of those jokes were just the funniest thing he'd ever heard, and that
Yeah, he
sort of
couldn't
made it
stop
interesting.
laughing.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was laughing.
My
Gut
son
laughing.
my son is really into chemistry and stuff like that. He likes the science stuff, even as a 6-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So he knows about water and H2O. So he really loved the backside of water joke
Right.
and the O2H joke.
O2H.
He loves it. He's like, the backside of water.
Yeah. I only hear that joke periodically, but it's a good one.
Yeah. It really gets me in my element.
Yeah.
So we
that's a
really
good one.
themed that well. You know, we went to Skipper Canteen, we went to that.
Yep.
Jungle Cruise. Then we go to watch Happily Ever
Fine.
After. May it
the last
River rest
time.
in peace. Yep, for the
Yeah.
last time. We go all the way out to the
Plaza,
the entrance
essentially,
area, the
yeah.
plaza. Yeah, because I just didn't want to be in the mass of people,
It
and
was a
so
lot.
since it was a lot, but we watched it. I would say it. I didn't cry. It was a slightly different experience than I pictured. Maybe because the pandemic's not completely over
True.
and people are the worst. Nobody could pay attention, and there's like people taking pictures and walking through the crowd, and
Yeah.
other people are just like they finish like the first batch and like, okay, is that it? And then like nobody. Anyways, I enjoyed it though. I think the thing that hit me the hardest, and it also I thought about it tonight whenever we were watching Enchantment, is when Robin Williams' voice came on, and I was like, this is going to be one of the last times that voice graces these halls because they're
Yeah.
probably not going to put it in the next show. And sure enough, it's gone.
Yeah, they may not put it again in anything. Hopefully they will. But yeah, sad to see it go. I gotta say though, it's better in the hub, even though it's like COVID central in the hub. The show's better in the hub, I think, than down on Main Street. But
Yeah,
that was.
but I'm glad we weren't down there because that was going to be a madhouse.
We went to Trader Sam's after that.
We did go to Trader
Forgot about
Sam's.
that.
So we went for the trifecta, but it was the outdoor part of Trader Sam's.
Right. Because we couldn't. The kids aren't allowed inside. So
I did the rum flight in a dark and not so stormy.
yeah. How are your souvenir shot glasses, by the way? Did you?
Yeah,
open
they're
them yet?
nice. Yeah, I did. I got 3 multicolored shot glasses.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually got the take home. We hung out at the Poly Beach after that and then walked over to the
Yeah.
Grand Floridian and drove home. And so another very, very full day. Very full.
Yeah. Nice. I got the tiki rum, and then I got the mojito. The mojito was much better. The tiki rum is good, but it's way too sweet. A lot of the drinks, you gotta weed out the sweet ones and find the one or two really, really good cocktails at each place. So the mojito was much better. But I think you were enjoying the rum flight much more than...
Yeah,
everybody
the
else.
rum flight there is better than the rum flight at Banana Cabana.
Yeah, it sounded really good. I definitely should try that next time. So what? Hollywood Studios the next day. We didn't have to get up and polarize Resistance boarding group.
Yeah.
We didn't make rope though, because
Oh yeah, we slept in. We
Yeah.
we were pushing it hard. We were pushing it hard.
as usual, yeah, we pushed too hard, but didn't make it to rope.
I think I had donut from Joffrey's for breakfast. Took my son to Rock and Roller Coaster. He was just barely tall enough.
But you rode it
And-
back to back, didn't you?
We rode it twice in a row. Basically walked straight to the pre-show both times. So it was fantastic. It's his new favorite ride, he says. Rock and Roller Coaster.
That was our experience, though, was because Rise of the Resistance was standby, it helped a lot of the other lines, especially Slinky Dog. And I assume Look Tower of Terror and Rockin', at least in the morning, was much more manageable because everybody goes straight to Rise of the Resistance still. So
Yeah, it's amazing how well things work themselves out when you just let people that want to wait in line.
yep.
Just
Just-
saying.
Yep.
We still waited 30 minutes for Slinky, but it was all inside the queue.
Yeah, but we waited 30 minutes for Slinky, not 90.
Not an hour. Or, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So after that, after we did Rockin' and you did Star Tours, we were on the rope for Baseline, as it should
Yes.
be. It
First
was
in line.
great.
We even
As
met
always.
some baseline enthusiasts there who we
Yeah.
still beat in line, which,
Yeah, they had on a Baseline Tap House t-shirt.
yep.
It was a great stop. And then, like we sort of mentioned, we went to Toy Story Land and we did Slinky.
We rode everything.
We did Saucers. Well, I didn't ride Mania. While y'all went and rode Mania, my family went and got food because my son was hungry. So he got a hot dog and chips, and I had some nachos and cheese. a beer, and I think my wife had a coffee drink from that Starbucks. Anyways, you rode a ride. We had some food. We met up, and then I went and bought a shirt. You got a Baseline Tap House shirt.
Yep.
And I was, honestly, at this point, I was kind of like feeling done.
Yeah.
But your wife, as much as she's like, oh, I'm just here, and oh, this is y'all's thing, was like, she's the one that's pushing us. She's like, I want to ride Runaway Railway.
Right. Yeah, she loves
Railway.
that one. Yeah.
So she pushed us to get in line. It wasn't that bad, and I'm glad we did it. I enjoyed the ride, and it also led us to the point where I was actually able to get my shirt back.
Right. But also the pre-show. What did you think of being able to see the pre-show for the first time?
The pre-show added to it. I liked it. I liked the pre-show.
Pre-show is good. That song is adorable, and it's a funny pre-show. It's just I do love that attraction. I think it's a great addition. So
yeah, I like that attraction a lot. So that was a good way to close the trip. We did that. We got off. We got my shirt back. And then we were still trying to be like, well, why don't we just keep pushing our luck and let's go to Bar Riva for lunch, like at Prima Piatto. And I'm like, no, I feel like we need to get out of here. So we went to Pop Century for lunch, and that was a good experience. The food court was nice. Good way to end the trip.
Yeah, they've had a good food court over there. A good, gets good ratings for quite some time actually.
Yeah.
For what it is,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you just want to, chicken fingers or.
But they had like a pot roast and all that stuff. They had like some interesting stuff. I got the pasta with meatballs. It was good.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what my wife got too. Yeah, it was it's decent, and the kids like the mac and cheese. I think is what we got them and stuff like that. So, not bad.
What was this, about 4:00? It was about 4:00 when we ate there. 3:30 maybe.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, it wasn't crowded.
I think you would say they have probably a little more variety than some of the average, like food court type environments, I guess, that they have.
It's similar to like a Sunshine Seasons or something, or even the one at Art of Animation. It's like almost identical.
Right, Landscape of Flavors. Yeah.
It's almost identical, but I actually like the one at Pop better. I don't know what it is about. I think the way that the store and everything is right there, and
the layout
of it, I just like it. So
yeah, Landscape of Flavors seems pretty massive. I mean, seems pretty spread out.
So that's the trip. On the whole, loved it.
Disney
Would go
magic
back.
still exists, even no matter what. The magic is still there.
Yeah, Disney is still a great spot. It's a great vacation. I'm going to keep going back. I am going to be mad, though, that the new fireworks suck, but I guess that just means I'm going to I'm just going to do what I have sometimes done in the past, and I'm just going to get on the boat to the Poly and go to Trader Sam's while the fireworks are going off, or I'll just go ride another ride or something. I don't need to stand in the hub to watch this. So
yeah, I can't wait to go to Trader Sam's without the kids so we can go inside Trader Sam's. We've got to do that. We got to incorporate that.
So have you never gone inside Trader Sam's at all?
No, I've never been in it.
Well, the music that they were playing on the outside patio of Trader Sam's was good. She had live music. Yeah, that was good live music. They were actually, when we pulled up, the pageant, the water show was
that was fun.
Was finishing up.
Yep, I always loved that, and just being at Polynesian brings back a lot of memories for me. So it's always fun to be there. And I went and got some food from Captain Cook's for my kids while we were sitting out there. And Captain Cook's is great as always. Like, just the Poly, man, it's so great. I want to stay there again, but it's hard to do.
But you don't want to pay for it.
No. Maybe renting a studio might work. Being able to rent the studio.
A bungalow. You're just going to get a bungalow.
Yeah, right. Let's rent. Right.
Just go all out.
Sure.
Just go, man.
I will say, though, we did stop at the new monorail station. The new additions look great. However, the old monorail station had like the wooden floor and everything, and this is like just a slab of concrete. So
maybe let's go on the hope that it's not completely finished yet.
Maybe they'll at least paint it or something, or do some sort of design on it, or cover it with like the tile that looks like wood. I don't know.
Well, I asked this question in our messenger, and I don't think you ever answered it. Do they not have a gate of any kind whatsoever? Just that line?
I feel like there was a gate on the other side. There was a
Because,
gate to
that's-
hold people back. Yeah, from gate. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there was a gate.
Okay, because
think
in
there
the
was a
picture it
gate.
didn't appear as though they were.
Yeah,
That's
because
what was
I
saying.
took a picture towards the part where they want you to exit and go around the exit side, and then the other side they
Okay.
want you to enter. I think there was a gate there.
I just would have found that odd. I was like, no gate? That's what it looked like. Surely there had to be a gate.
But yeah, it's a great place to be. Love Polly. But anyway, I think that's
Any
it.
other summaries you have for our trip? I gave my summary. Otherwise, I think that's it.
It was a great time, yeah, as always. Our weekend benders at Disney. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yep.
I'll judge the fireworks when I get there. I'll see them in person, but not
Yeah,
thrilled about them.
we'll judge them again. But if you're going to be like, where do you want to go first? Let's go watch Harmonious first.
Yeah, I think I would agree. All right, so you can visit our website, travelingwiththemouse.com, for links to that and more. And if you do want to plan a Walt Disney World trip, you can reach out to our travel agent friend, Jill Dilbeck. Her email address is jilldilbeck@gmail.com if you want to reach her that way. Or you can go to our website and find her link there. You can also email us, podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. And where else can they find us?
We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That is all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store in which you can buy your exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And we also have a YouTube channel that maybe, just maybe, there will be a couple of updates to it very soon.
Ooh. Nice teaser there. So for John and Jason, my name is Adam, and this has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we will see you on our next trip. Unless you're going to see Enchantment. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. That's terrible.
Yes, that's pretty bad. By the way, Harmonious has the old Epcot logo in it, yet there was absolutely zero old Epcot involved.